It's your boy James Ellsworth, and you're watching Viper Islands,
Is you ready? Ready. You say you ready. Whole squad ready. Ready. Is you ready? Are you ready? Ready. Is you ready?
What's up, folks? This is going to be a fun episode, so buckle up. Comic-Con happens this week, and we're going to talk about everything that matters right now in the world of G.I. Joe. We'll cover the buzz around the Cold Slither 4-pack, a surprising pulse check on the Renegades, what's really happening with the Legacy Police figure. We're going to explore what it will take for Hooded Cobra Commander to join G.I.JOE Classified, and a lot more. Folks, this is a wild, fast-paced episode. Watch until the end. And first up, a quick update on what to expect for Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con runs from July 24th to the 27th. Here's what to expect: a live Hasbro panel and possible live stream, new figure reveals and digital renders, the HasLab Snowcat on display at the Hasbro booth, a Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover item of an Optimus Prime Mobat with General Hawk, this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, the Cold Slither 4-pack, and new figures including the Deluxe Desert Scorpion, Grim Viper, Wetsuit, Sci-Fi, and Mainframe. Also, will the Dreadnought Thunder Machine be announced? And what new characters do you think will be added to the G.I. Joe Classified pipeline of upcoming figures? Here's our top 5 most anticipated figures that could be announced soon. First up, we've got Flash, one of the members of the original 13, and a figure that's near the top of many people's wish lists. We've got Iceberg. What better fit for the Classified line? And especially with the timing of the Snowcat HasLab, it's time that we add Airtight to this line as well. And after several hints have already been dropped, it's very possible that the Hydro Viper could be joining the line sometime soon as well. And in the 5 spot, we've got Grand Slam, another original 13 member. Brand new pipeline reveals and digital renders are what most fans look forward to anytime there's a new G.I. Joe panel or fan stream. Let us know what new figures you're hoping are revealed during this year's Comic-Con. Next, we're going to talk about Hasbro's decision to make Cold Slither this year's Comic-Con exclusive, why it works, why it doesn't, and how the Renegades are involved. Classified 9457 said, "Not selling the Renegades as a 3-pack is criminal. Mercer's on the way with a new Sergeant Slaughter that's a 2-pack, and coming in 2026 is a 2-pack of Red Dog and Taurus." Now, we asked G.I. Joe fans around the world, which G.I. Joe Classified 4-pack would you prefer? The Cold Slither 4-pack of Zartan and 3 Dreadnoks, or Sergeant Slaughter and the Renegades, Mercer, Red Dog, and Taurus, all together?
I think it's a pretty obvious one what the winner is. It's the Sergeant Slaughter and the Renegades. Yeah. The Cold Slither one, sure, it's cool. It's not a good one for G.I. Joe Classified, though. It's not really good when you got a bunch of guys with, like, guns and all this stuff and, like, cool, like, explosives, gadgets and stuff. And then you got a set of 4 guys with a set of guitars and drums.
But no microphone. It got cut for cost. Hasbro said, that's too expensive.
Just stick with it.
Hasbro said, too expensive, not giving you microphones. That band will just get up there and play music, instrumental. It's a very niche product, so I'm glad that it's an exclusive. It's this year's San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah, that's a waste exclusive, though. You could have so many other things for your exclusives. You could have the Renegades pack, instead of splitting it up into 2 packs, you could do it 1 pack, but then instead you do some band.
And it is cool in its own way, but
it doesn't fit with the rest of the
line. A lot of people are not interested. This one doesn't really stand out for us, and for a lot of other collectors.
Wrong line to be doing music stuff. This is like an army line.
Well, Lenny from Hasbro is big into like the rock and roll side of things, and
doesn't mean G.I. Joe fans are.
He wants to do a new modern version of Cold Slither Band or Dreadnoks. Start a different line.
Yeah, what the heck?
Well, the point here is 70% of G.I. Joe fans answered Sergeant Slaughter and the Renegades. They'd prefer to have that instead of Cold Slither. And by the way,
other pack. Any other pack.
A ton of responses to this. A lot of people don't like that Mercer was paired up with Sergeant Slaughter. They've already got 1 or 2 Sergeant Slaughters. They don't want another one. Mercer was tied to him anyway. It would have made more sense to either have a 3-pack of the Renegades like we had in the 87, or a 4-pack with Sergeant Slaughter included. I'd rather buy a 4-pack because I'm not buying Cold Slither, and Dex, sounds like you're not interested either.
I don't. It's so stupid. You can like what you like. That's the stupidest thing of a 4-pack ever, especially if there's no microphone too. That's even. What's the point of it? If you just get 3 guitars, drum set, and no microphone, what's the point of it?
I don't mind that it's an exclusive. If you're going to release it all, make it an exclusive that, if you really want it, you'll go out of your way to get it.
When you have cool exclusives most of the time, and you have one like this, that's just a waste. They usually do these cool exclusives, not something like this.
Well, to that point, we did ask G.I. Joe fans, are you planning to buy the Cold Slither exclusive 4-pack? 43% said yes, 19% they weren't sure, and 38% said no.
Yeah,
so
I think that's mainly a no. The undecided is probably going to turn into a no.
And we poll G.I. Joe fans every year about the San Diego Comic exclusive, and by far, this has the least interest that we've ever seen for any of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives. So that's why I can speak with pretty good certainty that the demand won't be as high as there was in the past for other years' exclusives.
So many other things you could have done. And a 4-pack of like guys in music stuff.
And meanwhile, they screwed up the Mercer release by putting him in a 2-pack with Sergeant Slaughter that everyone's like, why would you split up the trio of the Renegades? Have Mercer, Red Dog, and Taurus together or separately? Yeah,
why would you have them 2 and 2 and then you decide to have a 4-pack of these like guitarist guys?
Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Let us know if you agree with us here. For full coverage of the HasLab Snowcat, stay tuned right here to Viper Island. We've got you covered for everything you need to know. Then next we're going to talk about Hooded Cobra Commander. Pilu said, we needed Hooded Cobra Commander and the police officer figure. These are figures for adults, we can handle it. Hooded Cobra Commander was definitely an iconic character when the line first started with a real American hero, but times change. And here's why it's very unlikely that Hooded Cobra Commander will ever be made. The hooded version visually echoes the KKK's hoods. There are some who wear blue hoods based on a higher status, and whether intentional or not, that's what Hasbro wants to avoid. You gotta understand that is toxic for Hasbro. They are going to stay far, far away from it. Every Cobra Commander in the future, don't expect that there'll ever be a hood. So this is not a case about fan maturity and whether we can handle it or not. And even if it's a classic design like the Hooded Cobra Commander is, like, we understand why they're not going to make it.
He looks kind of boring anyways, with or without the reasons why they're doing it or not. Like, I get why people want it because they had it when they were a kid, but it's like the new Cobra Commanders look so much better. It looks like he just got some sort of like cloth or like a sock and just put it over his face.
Yeah, the difference is you can see a bit more of the expression, whereas with the silver visor, there's no expression whatsoever. Mix it all together and it's a situation that Hasbro and any other company will definitely avoid. As for the police figure, well, it was postponed. Hasbro pulled the figure. They canceled the June 11th fan stream at the last minute.
You can perceive a figure as anything. And it's not the actual guys doing it. It's just a police officer. But sure, it looks similar.
The problem is that Hasbro's reaction was awful. They panicked, and then they ghosted everybody. So they want to talk about being transparent. They hide away when there's a problem, which indicates they're not mature enough to deal with problems.
And also, last minute too, 10 minutes after the live stream was supposed to happen, you decide to cancel it.
And then there was still no information after that. And they've been radio silent.
They had known for a while, like a couple days, if they were going to cancel it or not. It's not like it was some sort of mechanical issue, like with the cameras or something. It was just they decided not to do it.
Apparently the plan is to release it on December 1st, and it might just be quietly done, released with no fanfare, no explanation, just here you go. The week before, June 11th, they showed off the digital render.
Our Legacy collection, which is going to be our new police officer.
Oh yeah, the police officer is pretty awesome. He comes with a rain poncho. He can also be upgraded, not upgraded, probably a bad word, but more armored up rather, to have a riot mask and shield. You could have a everyday policeman, or you can have a guy that's getting ready to take out some big situation. So it's really fun to see what we will get from this photography from people.
Yeah, love it.
And they were proud about it, saying, oh, this is really cool. A week later, they couldn't talk about it. This is breaking every rule in PR. It was so horribly handled. And this kind of move does not build consumer confidence. It breaks it down and it raises more questions about how Hasbro views its fan base when they ghost them with no explanation, and they don't say a single word, and now their plan is to just quietly release it because it's still going to come out. Hasbro's the one who made the figure in the first place. We're reacting to it.
If they're taking that stance, they can't really make any figures because...
But Hasbro's not worried about us, the community. They're worried about headlines and social media backlash. Not that there would be over G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, as big as it is, it's still not that big. In this case, With Hooded Cobra Commander and the police figure, one figure is never coming, and the other one, for now, is coming, just in the most cowardly, corporate way possible. If you're enjoying this, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. Next up, we're talking about Cobra Law. Bald Steve Games 9080 said, Cobra Law sucks and ruined G.I. Joe. Dex, you've seen G.I. Joe the movie, you know all about Cobra Law.
When I was like way younger, it was like, oh, those look cool. Now looking at them, it's like those guys are not cool. They look weird. I don't think they should do them for Classified. Nemesis Enforcer, they did them. They should not continue, especially with Globulus. Globulus would be so weird. How would you even pose him? The way it would work, it would be so hard to pose, because back then, like,
it's gonna have to be an exclusive.
No, but how would you pose him, though?
I know.
With the big snake thing, how would he, like, sit flat? He would just keep falling over.
This is like Cold Slither.
Yeah,
Maybe next year, in 2026, the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive could be Globulus. That would make a lot of sense.
Usually when you're
doesn't appeal to everybody.
When you're a company this big, you don't do what your own opinions are. You usually do what everyone else wants. That's how you make profits.
Not in the case of G.I. Joe. So Cobra Law is a very iconic part of G.I. Joe's lore, right? It's not for everybody.
Just cut it out, though. No one needs
But again, I think it's like Cold Slither. It appeals to a very niche part of the fan base. Let the people interested go ahead and buy it. The problem is it's tough to make Cobra Law figures work alongside the rest of the Classified collection. And I think that's where Cobra Law fits into the G.I. Joe lore. If we're being literal here, it didn't ruin G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe's still around to this day.
They should leave that in the past, back in the 80s and 90s. They should not bring it with them.
Well, it's both a cult classic, but also a cautionary tale of what doesn't appeal to everybody. Next, the boss, Brent Fuke, said, Hasbro doesn't understand that their poor behavior or lack of communication is a problem. Dex, would you agree or disagree with this?
I think that they understand that their communication is a problem. They just don't care about it because at the end of the day, they're still making money, so they don't care. Also, with that live stream they canceled like a month or two ago, like out of nowhere. When it was starting, I was like, we were checking for it. Did not happen. We were sitting there. 10 minutes after it was supposed to start, they said, oh, it's canceled.
Well, we asked G.I. Joe fans around the world, which part of collecting G.I. Joe Classified is the most exhausting lately? 23% said waiting for pre-orders. 16% said budgeting for surprise drops. Another 16% said confusing release schedules. And the biggest portion of G.I. Joe fans, 45%, said lack of communication from Hasbro. So I think Brent is right here. They hide away. They cancel a live stream, they say next to nothing about it, they cancel the police ESU figure, say nothing about it, now they won't even talk about it. These things add up, and when they happen in a short amount of time, it becomes a very big problem for collectors, and people start changing the way they look at Hasbro. Does Hasbro care? Like you said, probably not. They're still selling all these figures anyway. And it's become clear that they think they can just ride out any problem by just ignoring it, while other Hasbro teams, like Marvel and Star Wars, especially Marvel, and Transformers too, are a lot more present and visible. So let us know in the comments down below if you agree with Brent here, that Hasbro doesn't understand that their poor behavior and lack of communication is a problem. Thanks for your hot takes. Dex and I are always here to answer your questions, and we want to hear from you. Do you have a strong opinion about the Classified series, a bold prediction, or a take that might stir the pot in a good way? Now's your chance. Drop your best family-friendly hot takes in the comments. But remember, only one hot take per comment. We're not here to read out an entire paragraph. So make it count, keep it clean, and if it stands out, you might just see it featured on an upcoming episode. And there you have it. You've made it to the end of this episode, and we really appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. And we would love it even more if you take just 1 second of your time. Make sure that down below you are subscribed to the channel. We ask that you do, because that guarantees that we definitely get to see you back here again next time. Thanks for tuning into Viper Island, your one-stop shop for all things G.I. Joe. When there's relevant news, we'll be here to discuss all of it, together with you. Thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, have a great day, and yo Joe!